careful what you say.
Or don't.
Is that a cat? Is
Yeah,
that a Lyrian? Lyran?
yeah.
How do you say that? How do you say that word?
I
Man, I don't know what's going on with the throat chakra. Let's see. Is this thing? Oh yeah, we still got about a minute. We got about a minute and a half.
Okay. Chiche, what are you doing? You want to come over here? Want to come say hi to Todd?
Yeah, come say hi to Uncle Todd.
Todd wants you to come say hi.
Let's see. I can't remember. Okay, we got 11 people. We still got another minute. We have to give it 2 minutes. I can't remember. Should I pull up the message you sent me about what you wanted to talk about? Something came in last week, right?
Yeah.
You remember what it was? Or do you need me to pull the message?
I do. I'm just wondering if you want me to wait till more people get here.
Yeah. Let's wait another 30 seconds.
Come on, Jay.
Let's just make sure we're good to go here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Come here. Come on.
Okay, there it goes. I don't know why it's taking so long for this thing to hook up. Let me just make sure that it's...
Hi, Todd.
Hey, what's happening?
Hi.
Is it a he or a she? It's a she.
He's named Che after Che Guevara.
Oh, Che Guevara. Okay, so it's just now hooking up. I don't know what the heck's going on here. Let me just make sure it's on my page.
Meow.
So, yeah, there it goes. Okay. Yeah. Ever since that little power outage with Facebook and etc.
Oh yeah.
Seems to be some messed up things going on. I don't mean messed up, but I mean just the algorithms are all screwed up. It's just the universal energy.
Glitches. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all right. We can live with that. Yeah. So we're good. We got 30 people in the house, and yeah, we can get started. So this happened what? This happened last week, right?
Yeah. So
because that was a big week last week. I went down on Monday. Franco went down on Monday. My friend James Greenshields went on Frozen for a moment. He had a 5-day, sat on the couch for 5 days. That started on Monday. Every day there's more and more people coming out with, I saw a lot of comments on Morgan's post that she put up. The last one she just put up, I think it was just maybe 12 hours ago or something like that. Mm-hmm. There were some incredible comments on that one. It was just like, whoa. So there's a massive transformation occurring. And it seems with a lot of people, it's with the body, the physical body too. Mm-hmm. So I can't remember what you were telling me in the message though, but I remember it was intriguing. You want to fill us in?
Yeah. I've been trying to think, like I noticed that lots of the beautiful people that come on here, when they tell a story, whether it seems cohesive to them or not, they might, have to backtrack and weave in some things together, but it always seems so cohesive. And I feel like mine is it's made up of these jigsaw puzzles that I've been getting pieces of over the year, but they're slowly starting to integrate. And so I'll probably have to weave and bob a little bit and backtrack and, all
that's
that
okay.
stuff. But, once I caught wind of the octahedron, my ears perked up because sacred geometry has been, it's been an interest for a long time, but it hasn't been like on my main screen or my main field of view as much as it has been in this past, say, year. Mm-hmm. And especially because I started spending more time with the sun and looking at the sun and seeing geometric patterns and whatnot. So I kind of don't even know where to begin. Well, so last week I was at an art studio, and I was posing while they painted my portrait. And so when I'm posing, I meditate, and so I was meditating with the octahedron. But after doing Morgan's meditation a few times, I didn't need to do that anymore. I could just, it just organically would come to me in all sorts of ways, right?
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there meditating, and I see myself in the center of the earth, and I'm inside of an octahedron. And then the energy moves up, and there's an octahedron below each of my feet where the earth star chakra is. And then, so let's say that this is my foot and this is the octahedron. And then there were many little octahedrons all around that octahedron, and they were blue. And I'll come back to that later because it's important. So then I saw myself sitting in my root chakra inside of an octahedron, and I stayed with that energy for a while. And then I moved up to the second chakra, same thing. I saw myself, and this isn't like, when I don't attempt to visualize things.
Right.
I let them come, So this isn't me forcing anything. This is me seeing what's there. So then I move up to the second chakra, same thing. I see myself sitting inside an octahedron, sitting inside my second chakra. All of a sudden, it moves up to the third chakra, and instead of the octahedron being inside the chakra, the octahedron encompassed the chakra. Do you get what I'm saying? So it's not like a chakra and then the octahedron here. It's the octahedron encompassing the whole chakra.
Right. The solar
plexus. And then get a load of this. And then all of a sudden the sun was in there. And it's just beaming. It's shining on the whole solar chakra is just lit up by the sun itself. And all of a sudden, a man appears there.
Was he handsome?
Yes. And this is where I'll have to weave parts of the story. But so a man appeared there, and it was a black man, and he didn't have a shirt on, and he didn't have any shoes on, and he just had these very like a cream-colored pants, like muslin cloth, very simple, and amber-colored eyes, and just natural, beautiful hair, maybe about this long. And I knew who it was. His representation was twofold. He was me in a past life where I had been enslaved and had a shackle around my neck, which he no longer had. There was no shackle around his neck. And he also was my divine masculine.
Wow.
Or is, I should say. And he's around all the time now. So I was curious. I was like, I wonder what, I don't know why, but I didn't say, hey, what's your name? But in my mind, I heard the question, I wonder what his name is. And right when I had that question, I saw the letters SIEGL. But I was still meditating, so I wasn't going to break meditation to find out what it was. So I sat in the solar plexus for a long time and just, looked into this man's eyes. And then, I finished the rest of the chakras. And then we broke the pose and they took a break. and I went to my phone and I typed in SIGEL.
SIEGEL.
EL. Seagull. And it's Old English for, guess what? Just take a wild guess what the word means.
I don't know. I don't mean.
It means sun.
It means sun?
Yes.
Wow. Wow.
So here's my solar plexus lighting up with the sun in it. And this being is telling me that his name is Sun, or means sun. And I was just blown away. I was blown away.
So did you have any intel come in, or did anything happen in the next 2, 3, 4 days? Did you get any clarity on what? I know there's been a lot of talk about what's coming in, the speed it's coming in, you know, the comprehensiveness of it that we don't need to know. But I mean, did you get any kind of idea of what was happening?
Well, okay. So here's a bunch of the rest of the pieces. Okay. So I think I've told you in other conversations that there's a man that I've been, I don't know, studying with, for lack of a better word, a shaman.
Yeah.
And since about 2017. And okay, how does this all work? So years ago, I hardly ever take selfies. I'm not a selfie type of person. I'm not even a photograph type of person. I don't really like photographs of myself for the most part. I mean, I love the ones that I do have of me because that I like, because they're so far and few between. But for some reason, I heard myself say, take a picture of yourself. And I stood in front of the bathroom mirror and I took a picture of myself. And I looked at the picture and I was mortified because there was a bolt through my neck. I looked like Frankenstein.
Really?
And I thought, this must just be like some camera glitch or something. And so I brought it to Kevin and he's like, no, that's not a camera glitch. And there had been, like, it was coming up again and again about like not using my voice or having my throat chakra blocked, or even blockages like from the outside, however that works. Well, a year before this picture, sometime around there, I had got a reading from a woman, and she said, your throat chakra is very interesting. She said, lots of times, most times when I see people's throat chakra, I see like the color of the Caribbean Sea. It's like a turquoise, color. And she says, but yours is indigo blue. She said, it's like, she said that you have a lot of ancient and coveted wisdom in your throat chakra. And then I went to what is the word for it? Like a cacao and rose ceremony for Guadalupe. And the lady that was hosting the ceremony was a medicine woman, and she carries eagle medicine, and she had this huge eagle feather. And, at the end, she said, eagle medicine is really strong and it's not for everybody, but if you feel called, come up and get some eagle medicine. And I right away was like, phew. And so, she was fanning me with the eagle feather, and she said, you know what, you have a lot of masculine energy and you also have a lot to say, but you're not saying it is killing you. You need to start using your voice. Right? So now you've got that lady telling me about the indigo blue, and you've got this picture with the bolt, and you've got this, the eagle medicine experience. And then I remember about a year ago, I was doing a Zoom with Kevin, And I said, I'm feeling really frustrated. I said, I feel like I have been so with intent, consciously working on my evolution in this lifetime, and it's almost like tangible or palpable. It's like I can feel something, like maybe even my own lineage, like pulling on me,
Mhm.
and I got really angry, and I said, I'm just tired of it. Like, I'm tired of the shackles. The word shackle came out. And so he and I put it together about this,
Yeah.
the bolt, and that I had a lifetime, as a slave, and that in fact my ancestry was tugging on me a bit because they could feel me moving forward, but they weren't ready to face their own fears. And that because when you move forward, you carry the whole lineage with you, you know and if they're not ready and they have fears about moving forward and you're moving forward, well, that would explain a little bit the tug, right?
Right.
And so I don't know. I had a talk with my ancestors, and I said, I get it about having fear. I have all sorts of fear. I have fear all the time, every day, and I said, but I incarnated for a reason. I incarnated to evolve my soul. And, yes, I answered, there's a certain part of me that answers to my lineage, but I first and foremost, I answer to myself.
That's
So,
right.
if you want to have fear, you can keep your fear, but don't pull me back with it, because I'm going forward. There's no other direction I'm going, and that's it. Like, we can't even have it. It's not even open for discussion. I'm moving forward, period. You know? And so I just kept moving forward. And if I tried to write a book about myself, it wouldn't be so obvious, like, to
Well, I
even.
mean, this is all kind of. I see the connection.
Yeah.
My question is, so this aspect slash, well, I guess this aspect with the dual representation, a previous life, enslaved, and also your divine masculine. Now, this is coming this past week, which now that the dust has kind of settled, there's a little bit more clarity. Morgan put up that post, and it had a lot to do with the masculine and the feminine merging. Now, we had our own experience. I mean, you've got other people she'd spoken to that are having an experience in different ways, but they all seem to be leading to this past week, where at a very physical level and otherwise, that the masculine and feminine are actually, I want to use the word finally, actually having full merging and equilibrium. And it's not just one couple or one person, or it's happening everywhere. Do you feel like that this aspect, you know, is has merged with you, your masculine and feminine, or is in the process? Like, is it happening now?
I think it's both. I mean, I think you can. So we've definitely connected, right? He's found his way back to me. Obviously, my antenna have been up, and I've been doing my own work too, right? Um, but I don't think a merge is a one and done. It's like you could consider that this is separation, and you get closer 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 and you merge. But to me, all of that space in between, as you're doing this, it's all merging, So do I think I'm here yet? Maybe not,
Well, I mean, I'm
I
not.
feel like.
Yeah, I mean, I just look at it this way. Okay, if you go into other dimensions that have less distortion and less polarity, it would only make sense, first of all, that you would have let's just say a collective frequency or a higher level of alignment of masculine and feminine. Because number one, you don't have the polarity, okay? And number two, it's a higher dimension or a higher frequency. So therefore, you would have to have more balance from the souls that were participating, right?
Mhm.
So, we can look at this, all the stuff that we talk about that's been written about. This time has been prophesized by many, many different streams in our experience on the earth. And it was all culminating into this, you can put this a lot of different ways, into the 1,000, 2,000 years of golden age or whatever. But in order to get there, because by all parties involved, it seems to be that the earth itself reaches a higher frequency, which if that's the case, then the balance or imbalance of the, let's just say these two, the masculine and the feminine, it comes into a higher level of alignment. It just looks like that there's a lot of stuff going on these last few days where there seems to be some pretty solid evidence that this is occurring at a very physical level. And we all know that over the last year and a half that the body's been on point. It just seems, in my mind, it's a bit extraordinary. And it also seems very real.
Mhm.
It really feels like there's a level of empowerment occurring. And as a result of that, there's a lot of the final pieces of those things that have kept us from getting there are going away. It's been hell on the human, but the body's purging. There's just a lot of different evidence if you look around, especially these last few days. And you're having this happen in the last few days. So I'm just wondering, if you have any indication, have you had any changes? You said that you were very masculine. Have you felt your feminine come out?
It was 2 weeks ago that it happened, just to be clear. I think I said last week, but it was 2 weeks ago that I modeled. So, well, let me say this. There's something that you always say, and I almost wish I could quote you. You talk about like that creative energy of the feminine and the way that the masculine supports that. I can't think of the exact way I've heard you word it, but I feel very supported. And it's right, but it's an inner support, right? I mean, it's me. He's me. He's my masculine, my divine masculine, right?
So when you say I feel supported, you're speaking as your feminine.
As my feminine, yes, I'm saying I feel supported. Yes.
So energetically, you feel supported in this, and also tied to the throat chakra with the bolt.
Oh, you froze.
Yeah, that's you. Well, I'm good. You're good. But I'm just saying that. Are you, for instance, because of this support, are you feeling? Are you speaking more? Or do you feel like you're opening up in that regard? If you haven't.
That's an interesting question because I hear these people saying things about my throat chakra or use your voice or this or that. And, but I'm a pretty direct person. I mean, almost to the point of being blunt sometimes. And I don't feel that I like, I mean, maybe what I have to say just hasn't come out yet. I don't know. I don't feel afraid of my voice. I don't feel afraid to speak out.
Well, do you feel like, so do you feel anything has, has anything been created or expanded as a result of feeling this support from your masculine?
Yeah, I do feel a certain amount of confidence. I feel my will is stronger. You know, your will is your solar plexus.
Mm.
Um, I'm still trying to piece it together, Todd, but let me go back to the you know, I'm letting it unfold is another thing, because uh, another way that I'm operating now is that I think I've exhausted myself using the mind to try to figure everything out. My intuition is super strong, you know, and I know about timing, and I know about listening, and I know about the allowance of unfoldment, and I know how to connect the dots or notice when there's a resonance, or like, hey, this fits with that, right? And so it's not that I'm not being a conscious orchestrator of my life, but I'm also allowing life to unfold without trying to, you know, have a list and have a plan and make things and do things and figure things out from my mind, you
Yeah.
know? So I'm more allowing it to unfold. So in that way, I would say my divine feminine is also coming more online, right? Because that's like that everything I said before is more like the false masculine,
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
right? And
I
so
was, I mean, that seems to speak to, yeah, you could call it false masculine or distorted masculine, but, or
yeah,
even patriarchal, where you got to be on schedule and you got to
right,
do this and you got to
right.
do that. But you're saying that you're allowing it to flow, which makes sense. That's the feminine,
Yeah. And
right?
so with the support of the masculine and the authentic masculine, not the planned out, figure it out patriarchal masculine, the actual masculine is there to support the feminine, to allow for her to just say, hey, I'm gonna, you know, unfold, rather than like march boldly forth with a plan and figure it
Mhm.
all out, you know. So back up to the part of the meditation where there were blue octahedrons
Right.
spinning around both of my feet. Okay. So when I had this reading from this lady that told me about the indigo blue in my throat chakra, she said, you know, you were part of some of the earliest beings that were on Earth. And you guys, as a group, somewhere on the continent of Africa, you seeded the Earth. You seeded the Earth with blue diamonds. And the reason you did that is so that if ever a day were to come, like the times we're living in now, those blue diamonds could be used to bring harmony and balance back to the Earth and back to human civilization, to humanity, basically. And I was always really curious about that. And I was like, I've never met anybody else that said anything about blue diamonds. I couldn't really find much information about blue diamonds. I know that there are physical blue diamonds that people have recently begun digging up from the earth that are found in different parts of the world. And that's all about the information that I'd had. So after I met Alice in New York at Soulogy Fest, we had a couple of conversations after we came home. And we realized, and you know, we had made that great connection in the teepee together.
Mm-hmm.
And we realized that we had an Arcturian connection, she and I. And I said, let me just run this by you. I said, when I say blue diamonds to you, what like what goes on in your mind? Does it bring up anything for you? And she's like, oh my God, I can't believe you're saying this to me. She said, there's one woman that I get readings from, because I don't trust many people to do readings, but I trust this woman. And she calls me her Arcturian blue diamond sister.
Mm. There you go.
And I'm like, whoa. And then I was thinking about how you told Delia that when you saw Allison and I standing next to each other at Soulogy Fest, you saw like an infinity symbol. And so I was like, so see, I'm just getting like bits and pieces. So I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, first of all, when Janine told me about the blue diamonds, I was thinking like an actual diamond, you know?
Right.
I wasn't thinking of a sacred geometry shape, a platonic solid blue, right? And now, so as this, seagull or soul shows up in my solar plexus, right before that, I'm getting these blue diamond things. Now, it's interesting too that he's African, because the Janine had said that it was me and some other beings that were some of the first beings on Earth, that somewhere on the continent of Africa, we seeded some blue diamonds. So that also fits in, right? So the blue diamonds thing were seeded on the continent of Africa. Soul is obviously from Africa. Like, it's just, so it's not like all one big epiphany and now it's like, oh, now I know how the whole story goes. It's still unfolding. Like, I don't know. It's a trip though.
Well, I mean, I think that's what's happening, right? I mean, this has been the downloads, the channels, the past life memories. It's information, it's code, and you're right. I think it is a lot of pieces of a puzzle, and then we have the more current scenario this year, which is like, oh, do we even have to put the pieces together anymore? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's almost like because there does definitely, by all accounts, that the focus is on our human aspect now. It's all about us. We had a lady come on. It was 3 o'clock in the morning my time. You know, one of those that's been lit since day one. I mean, just basically an ET, or just walking in a human body, and that has a really broad basis of experience in terms of what we might call paranormal or dimensional experiences. But she said it's all about us now. It's just us. Like, what are we going to do with this? And especially given the situation of the last 10, 12, 14 days. It's just been off the charts intensely.
So somebody pointed out earlier, Todd, sorry that I keep going like this. People, it's almost distracting. I almost want to cover it up because I'm like,
You can do that. There's a little square at the bottom. You see the square bottom right?
yeah.
Just click that. Just click that.
No, it
No?
didn't. Mm-mm.
Yeah, you just click
Matter
that.
of fact, it covered my own face up. Let's see. Yeah.
Or just don't look at it.
Yeah, I gotta not look at it.
Yeah,
Stop commenting. Okay. So something else I was gonna tell you.
there has been a blue. The blue's been big too. I was talking to Morgan about it last night. These mandalas that she put up here on this door.
Yeah.
Because I think it was 2 nights ago or 3 nights ago, I built a fire. It was really a huge kind of thing coming in. I got that it was collective. I was doing the fire. I was telling Morgan it was like a whirlwind. It probably lasted like 2-3 hours. I built like a bonfire. It was bigger than me, and then it felt like it was like 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
It was like a dimensional experience. It went really fast.
Mm-hmm.
Next thing I know, I'm up here and I'm just staring at these mandalas, these blues and these blue greens, and a lot of blue has been coming around.
Yeah, blue has been working its way into my life for about 3 years now. It's all of a sudden it's all over my house. I'm wearing it more. Like, and I have a friend too, and boy, I wish we could get her on here someday, although she's in the middle of moving from Canada to Portugal. But she's been seeing blue lights since she was a little girl.
Yeah.
I mean, she's
Well, you know that,
pulled this up, yeah, from
yeah.
Julia
Okay. Because
Garbo,
so this is the conjunction that occurred today,
right?
and that's Arcturus.
Yep,
That's Arcturus with the
yep,
sun. There's your sun
yep,
and the moon and Mars.
yep.
So, you know, I don't know. I guess it's just it's all just signs. We're picking up on the signs. We're aligning with present moment, and that just means a lot more than just what we might have thought a couple
Yeah.
of 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah. I didn't even know about Arcturus or Arcturians until a few years ago, or I don't know, sometime back. The last partner that I had, we were working with Kevin, and he was like, you guys, he's like, you go back as far as Arcturus, right? And he was like, and when you guys were in Arcturus, you guys weren't even two people, you were one people, because Arcturians are just, they don't need to date anybody because they're complete in their masculine and feminine within themselves. So they don't have partners, they are each other's partner. Like their self, your partnership is yourself, your divine masculine and feminine. And I was like, that's interesting. So I went and looked up a few things about Arcturus and Arcturians, and more information kept coming. And then a couple of years later, this lady gives me a reading, and she was like, oh my gosh, you're just got so much Arcturian and la da 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 da. And I find that interesting, and it's like two people who don't know each other and they've never met, and these experiences are years apart and they're picking up the same thing in your energy field. I tend to give that some credence. But like you said, it's about the human, and it's not that wherever we've been in the galaxy, just like when Franco told me, remember, he was like, don't really have a home. Like, you like to go everywhere. You've been everywhere in this galaxy. You've been here, you've been there, you've been everywhere. Now you're here.
You have a home frequency,
like kind of like
what
I'm like a cosmic gypsy. That he was saying, I don't really have. He couldn't state one place in the cosmos that he could say
so
was
I'm just curious too, because I find it interesting when I talk to people and they get readings. Do you find as time goes on that you're getting fewer readings? Are you getting more or less the same information from yourself? What's happening?
Yes, I have definitely stopped seeking so much outside of myself. I would go because I was curious, and I did, like, certain things in me weren't turned on yet, but I knew I had the right antennas to be able to draw somebody to me to get the information that I was looking for. But the information I was looking for wasn't always from myself. And it's not, I believe everything that somebody says, hook, line, and sinker. I'm like, I go through and then I review what was said and what was shared. And I'm like, that resonates, that doesn't resonate, that was helpful. And I just keep what's helpful and move forward, But yeah, no, I don't seek that as much anymore.
Yeah, I think that's fading away for a lot of people.
Yeah.
But
I was going to go back and say that, well, somebody said earlier, well, it's kind of because I keep moving around, but earlier somebody said that it looks like there's let's see if I can get it back to the right shape. Somebody said earlier, it looks like there is a black arrow pointing towards my throat. And
I see what they're talking about.
It was the sweater. Yeah. I can't get it to do it again, but anyway. What was I going to tell you, Todd? I just lost my train of thought. No. So this was also interesting. So when my mom passed away, I inherited a wooden pyramid, and it's a box. You can take the top of the pyramid off the base.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a friend who moved away about a year ago, and he said, okay, see the black arrow? See the black arrow?
Yeah.
So anyway, he said, this shape is going to be really important for you. This shape is in this next year, this shape is going to become really important for you. And a pyramid is half of the tetrahedron.
Mm-hmm.
So he wasn't kidding. And I mean, he never can, stuff like that never came out of his mouth. He's pretty practical, that guy. So I was like, I wonder what that means. So get a load of this. Okay. So 2 years ago, I learned a Kriya yoga practice that has to do with breath work, etc. in the Kriya yoga practice, you do it for 6 months in order to prepare you to like flush out your nadis and your subtle body channels to prepare your body to do another type of breath work, which is called cobra breath. And cobra breath, you're working with your breath and you're working with your mula bandha and your solar plexus and your 3 diaphragms, basically your pelvic floor and your diaphragm here. And you're working with your breath and those diaphragms, and you're working with your Ida and your Pingala and your spine and your cerebrospinal fluid and the neural bundle that you have, like the flowery language that the Hindus or the Buddhists use. They talk about the opening of the 1,000-petaled lotus, that's physically a thing, because we have a neural bundle, a neural bundle of like 1,000, but it's all wadded up. But if you work with it, it unfolds, right? And so I'm not explaining it very, very eloquently. If anybody wants a link, let me know. It explains it much more eloquently than I'm doing it now. But so I did the Kriya yoga practice to prepare me for cobra breath, and then 2 years ago I got initiated in cobra breath, and then recently I've been wanting to do a refresher course. And the man who taught it to me had been in Europe, and he came back to Santa Fe for a minute, and so I did a refresher course, and that was just a Saturday and a Sunday. So I come home one day from lunch, just for the lunch break, and it's Sunday, but for some reason I think to go to my mailbox. So I open my mailbox and I find this piece of paper wadded up, and I open it up. Look at that.
Mm-hmm.
That's the octahedron.
Mm-hmm.
2D, but there it is.
Mm-hmm.
And then these symbols right here, that they're overlapping. But if you just had one of them, like it's a turkey tail,
Yeah.
that's a rune symbol for protection. And the date on here is 1967, which
that's in your mailbox. That's trippy.
Get a load of this. And the date on this piece of paper is 1967, which is the year I was born. So you've got the year I was born, and you've got the octahedron. Then you've got more, you can't probably see it, but you've got more geometrical shapes here. And then here is the flower of life.
What is that thing?
It's like it
just showed up in your mailbox.
Okay, yeah. And then in this triangle are temples. They're like Buddhist temples in Thailand. And throughout my life, Asian culture and Buddhism has had a golden thread for sure, and in past lives. Then you've got this whole flower of life thing. Then you've got this octahedron, plus it's the year of my birth. And this rune symbol, the turkey tail, the sign for protection, that was a sign that was shown to me by Mars. I was looking at Mars one night just with my naked eye, and all of a sudden this symbol appeared. It showed me this symbol. Now whenever I look at Mars, I can see that turkey tail symbol. So it's like all these facets of my life coming together on one piece of paper with the year. I mean, first of all, what are the chances that this piece of paper from a magazine or newspaper, the Minneapolis Tribune from 1967, which it's Sunday. This says Sunday. It was a Sunday when I found it. It has the year of my birth. How did this piece of paper, number one, survive? Let alone, what would make some person think, I'm going to tear this part off of the page only. I'm going to fold it in a thing, and I'm going to put it in her mailbox. Like, how does that even happen? How does that even happen? And so I brought it to my teacher, and I mean, I was like, this is my life coming together. Like, there was such synchronicity.
How long ago was this?
It was, what's today?
Don't ask me. Today, I believe today's Wednesday the 6th.
Wednesday? Okay. So not this past Sunday that we just had, but the Sunday before that.
So this all just happened. So yeah, I mean, so that now I see where this is all going.
So I said to Jeff, who taught me the Cobra breath practice, his neural bundle's already open. He's super, like, you want to know who this guy is. You're like, well, what's your trip? Are you a writer? Are you a plumber? You're a farmer? Like, what's your thing? He's not like walking around in any robes or professing to be anything. He's like you or me or whatever, he's, which is a lot of things, right? Since we're multidimensional. But my point is, he's just a humble, everyday kind of guy, but he happens to teach Cobra breath practice. But I said, anyway, so what about this piece of paper, Jeff? Like, you getting any hits on it? And he was like, it's not like the person that put it in your box was conscious of what they were doing, but the deliverer, the being who wanted you to have this knew what they were doing, and they were using the person to deliver it. And he was saying, he's like, it could be Babaji, who's the one that is the lineage holder for the Cobra breath practice, or it could be somebody else. But he was like, this is somebody sending you a message.
It's you sending you a message,
right?
That's all it is. The rest of it's
Isn't that wild, though?
The rest of it's just a story. Yeah, and the whole point is it's there, not how it got there. The whole point is it's there, right? I mean, it's just that's the kind of stuff that's happening, and the fact that it just happened to you, that says a lot. So, you want to do anything before we get out of here? You want to do a song again?
No, I don't think so. Look what Dahlia got me. Wow. Thank you, Dahlia.
That's nice.
It's onyx and gold. That shape it doesn't come across on the computer, but the way that it's cut, there's some really neat shapes right here. I wish it showed up. Because it's not just a straight up triangle. Let's see if I can get the light to.
I see it. Yeah.
See that little shape right there? Yeah. Where the light is.
Oh,
it's beautiful. Thank you, Delia. Come back with me, Todd.
Yeah.
Share your screen. So, yeah, wild times.
Yeah, it is. Moving fast. I'm going to get prepared. We're going to do that private circle of life healing tonight.
Okay.
I want to get ready for that. And then Friday, we're going to do the community one.
Okay. I had one thought about, Franco. Yeah. And yes, everybody who's on here, I mean, I assumed you watched the 2 lives from yesterday with Todd. If you didn't, I highly suggest watching them. Yeah, just, take some of your time to send some healing energy to Franco and Kimberly. And I know we'll be doing that collectively on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
And, but I had a little epiphany, or I don't know if it's an epiphany or a thought, but before you and I came on, I thought to myself, when you were saying that, you asked Franco, like, in your lucid dream, are you going to stay or are you going to go? And he was like, well, I don't know yet. I'm still deciding. I feel like it's the same as when he went to the airport and was going to come to Soulogy, and then they didn't let him through. And so he had to go back home and think about, like, why was he really going to Arizona? Like, what was his intention? Mm-hmm. I feel like this is parallel to that.
Could be. I mean, I would imagine it's the same. It's always a choice point, right?
Yeah.
And the pressure that's the resistance to our desire, it creates that choice point. So, like in the thing with the airplane, he changed his he reprogrammed himself. So I guess in a way it's the same thing, but But I think, this is a situation where everybody can relate to, because we've all had those moments where we're like, I just want to get out of here. I don't want to be here anymore, because
Who doesn't have that? Yeah.
exactly. So, I mean, his is obviously a very extreme example of that, because we're not just talking about what's, been ailing him the last week and a half. There's already, a situation there where he's, had gone through a lot of challenges, and, of course he never talks about it, but yeah, I think it's probably the same thing. It's the same choice point we have in every moment. I think, are we going to basically give up, or, you know what I mean? Or try to keep figuring out a new way to take something on. But yeah, so that'll be good tomorrow night. And yeah, we'll just keep on trucking. You're doing good over there in Santa Fe.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, right on. Yeah, that sounds good. Well, you take care. Thank you for dropping in.
Yeah.
Love you.
Love you too. Thanks for everything that you do, and everyone behind the scenes of Soulogy, and Morgan, and to all of us family, for keeping each other anchored here on Earth and bringing in the new energies and creating the new Earth together.
There you go.
Mwah.
Peace
Love
out.
everyone. Bye.
Take care.